This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about, is Nofap and seed retention overrated, as a response to YogiOabs' second channel, YogiOabs Reborn, where he talks about the case against NoNut November. I saw that title first and I'm like, that can't be right. So he's probably just using some clickbait to explain that, you know what? The 30 days of NoNut November is not enough for you to see the true benefits of Nofap and seed retention. So you should just go beyond that and truly experience the amazing aspects of seed retention and Nofap. But when I watched the video, I'm becoming puzzled. I'm like, that's not really a positive video when it comes to Nofap and seed retention. So it needed a response. First of all, what is the difference between Nofap and seed retention or semen retention? Nofap is simply the 90-day rebooting of your brain from porn and masturbation. You just don't want to be a porn addict anymore. You want your dopamine levels to normalize and you want to have sex with normal girls. You don't want to be on the sideline. You actually want to get some action. And that's why you go on Nofap, to get girls. And once you get girls, then you're like, well, I'm not, masturbating anymore and I'm not watching porn, so my life is so much better. And that's true. It's correct. Seed retention takes things to a whole new level when it comes to this subject. Yes, first of all, you're clearing your brain, you're rebooting it from the porn addictions and the masturbation and the orgasm, but you're also beginning to get tons of other benefits that come exponentially over time as you apply this to your life. So what does YogiOabs say about Nofap? He says that when you're practicing Nofap, you're trying to reboot your brain, you're trying to do all of this, you're going to have a lot of intense emotions. You're going to have aggression, you're going to have stress, you're going to have basically a lot of other issues, and then you kind of compare it with the benefits. You're like, is this really worth it? I don't know. Like, the goal was to be more productive, to be a better human being, to get things done, but I'm being distracted, stressed out, intense emotions, being aggressive, on the edge all the time, wanting to pick a fight. So what's up with that? The second aspect he mentions is that what's the point of practicing seed retention if you're gonna have wet dreams anyway? And he says that one streak where he had 102 days, that he had 2 wet dreams, one at 37 and the second at 37 days after that, and then the last one where he just basically ended his streak by choice. Then what's the point of seed retention? What's the point of Nofap if you're gonna have wet dreams anyway? And the third aspect, he says that Nofap gets painful after a while. Meaning after 3 weeks, you're beginning to feel some dull pain, lower abdomen, in your balls, gets a bit heavy maybe. You just feel really uncomfortable down there and there's a lot of pressure because your body wants to release. Understand that you're jolting your system, your reproductive system. It's not used to this and it requires time to get used to it. So here's my response to these first 3 things that I've mentioned now. First of all, understands that it always gets worse before it gets better. This is no exception to that rule. When you practice Nofap and seed retention, it always gets worse before it gets better. The thing is that it takes 30 days before that worst part subsides. 30 days, which means that those of you who practice seed retention and Nofap during NoNut November, fantastic, good on you. You're basically struggling to overcome your issues and your discipline and it's hard. But understand that if you just do 30 days and then you're done with it, NoNut November then is complete waste. Because you stop the rest of the year and you start ejaculating again on a daily or bi-daily basis. Completely useless. Why? Because during those 30 days is when the pain is. During those first 30 days is when you've got the aggression. During those first 30 days is when you've got the emotional roller coaster. Before, when you were ejaculating all the time, you were masculine. Once you step outside of your comfort zone, basically saying, I'm going to challenge myself, I'm going to do 30 days of no ejaculating at all, that's when things become uncomfortable. You don't become more masculine from that, you become feminine from that. Which is a fantastic thing because you want to get over yourself. You want to get past failure to get to success. But you've got to fail first, which means that it's going to get worse before it gets better, right? I mean, it makes complete sense. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So you're going to have anger issues, you're going to have stress, but this is your body getting rid of your emotional issues. It's throwing it out so that it's never a part of your life again. As long as you practice seed retention continuously. Get past those first 30 days and then manage to get up to 90 days. Man, those 60 days you will begin to understand. First of all, you'll have the flat line where there's no sexual desire, there's nothing going on. You basically feel that I don't know if this seed retention thing is doing anything, but as you progress, your sexual desire begins to come back. You begin to notice girls. You begin to be filled with hunger. You begin to be filled with desire. And this is a fantastic thing. Yogi mentions that he's like after 1 year of practicing Nofap and seed retention, he had sex pretty much once a month or once every other month. He said several times, I don't know what that means. But at the end of that year, he's like, it almost turned him into a sex addict. Fantastic. This is what you want as long as it is in a controlled, disciplined, channeled way. You understand that if you practice seed retention and Nofap, it's going to make you more desires towards sex. Not less, but you're going to need it less. That's what's so fantastic. You're not going to need women anymore. You're not going to need to have sex. But you're going to desire it. And you're going to desire a lot of it. And as long as you channel and discipline yourself to not let it go when it comes to the physical aspects, but channel it towards focusing on your dreams and goals with sex transmutation, according to what Napoleon Hill was saying in Think and Grow Rich, that's when you're tapping into the superpower, if you will. Okay, let me explain the word superpower here because I've mentioned that I don't really use that word here. And YogiOabs mentions that seed retention is not a magic pill, is not a magic bullet. You should just be doing the fundamentals of waking up early in the morning, exercising, getting good nutrition, and all that stuff. Let me explain to you this part. Yes, of course, all the other habits are massively important. However, your first addiction was porn and masturbation. The first addiction you ever had in your entire life was porn and masturbation, which means that if you manage to discipline yourself to get over this thing, just this one, just control yourself to not release, to not do it when you feel like doing it. Subduing those emotions until they become so powerful, but you are now disciplined and can handle those emotions. Now we're talking. Now doing the other fundamentals becomes easy. And with that discipline, you get consistency. Consistency is the key. Consistency allows you to build up an exponential growth curve every time, as long as you're being consistent. And the thing with seed retention is that if you just practice it for 1 month, and then you ejaculate, and then you practice it for 1 month, and then you ejaculate, or if you do it weekly or bi-weekly or whatever it is, it's gonna be inconsistent. Emotions all over the place. So simple. Be consistent with seed retention, and then you'll be consistent with every single other thing in your life. That's my response to YogiOabs. I'd love to do a collaboration with him one day and discuss the matter a little bit more, because I want to understand deeply what people's experiences are so that we can get more and more and more case studies. I'm just talking from my experience here of the potential of seed retention and what it can do for you in your life. I'm doing this as a married man. I've been married 10 years and I'm fired up outside my brain about seed retention, because when you manage to do that, you manage to avoid the distraction of women as well. You don't need to have sex before you choose to have sex. Voluntary celibacy is fantastic, and we should have more of that going on until we're ready, financially ready, to take upon ourselves the responsibility of women and children. What I want to say at the end here is make sure that you like this video, because it is critical that we share this message to everywhere and everyone, because we're making the world a better place, literally. Yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, because you imagine a world where men are finally emotionally stable and emotionally in control of themselves and have no need for sex, but lots of sexual desire, controlled, channeled towards worthwhile purposes and goals and dreams, and establishing beautiful families and next generations. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.